So this week we've been talking about our favorite kids shows, so I'm just going to get into it right now because I've got a lot to talk about. My choice of shows are based on how much I loved them growing up and how much I still love them today. My first show is Ed, Edd n Eddy. Out of the three that I picked, this one makes me just laugh out loud the most, and even when I was little and I still didn't understand some of the jokes when I was, really young, I still just, it made me crack up. I love seeing the scams that Eddie and Double D and Ed would come up with just to get quarters for jawbreakers, and it's not really one of those shows where it teaches you a whole lot, but it's just, just good old fun. The one lesson was that the Eds never seem to win when they're trying to scam these neighborhood kids. Probably one of my favorite episodes was the one where Sarah got a crush on Double D, and that was just one of the cutest things ever. One of my favorite things about the show was the finale, which was called The Big Picture Show. The character interactions were on a completely new scale. My favorite interactions with the characters was probably between Kevin and Naz. That was just, it was really hilarious because in the show, Kevin is always the one that's pining after Naz, and Naz is just kind of like, kind of clueless about it. And in this one, it's just the other way around. Kevin is so in love with his bike, and Naz is getting really pissed off about it, and at one point she throws the bike into a tree because he just isn't paying any attention to her. My second favorite part of The Big Picture Show was with the Eds, and where finally Double D just kind of got pushed over the edge of being kind of like ridden off by Eddie, and like because he feels really underappreciated, and that made me really sad just seeing him walk away and be like, you know what, forget you guys, I don't need you, and you guys, you're not really my friends. And then Eddie has a breakdown, and oh no. And I love the ending of The Big Picture Show. It's finally the Eds get accepted into the cul-de-sac kids group thing, and after so many years of growing up just seeing them lose all the time and never get a happy ending, it's nice. It was a really nice way to end the show. My second show is Courage the Cowardly Dog. This show probably played a big role in making me into the weird kid I am today. The show was so bizarre. I can't even put into words how much it used to scare me. The dark humor was really impressionable, and there was a disturbing amount of times that Eustace died at the end of every episode, and somehow it would come back, cartoon logic and stuff. Muriel gets possessed by a demon in a mattress, and it's just such a clear reference to The Exorcist. Every time it was on, I would kind of watch it but not watch it because I was freaked out. There was another episode where they actually contacted the dead. They contacted Eustace's dead brother, and they were so casual about it. And that was one of those things that didn't freak me out when I was little, but thinking about it now, I'm like, that's just really effed up. The episode that kind of just makes the entire show for me is where they show Courage's past, where when he was a baby, just a little puppy with his parents, the vet put his parents in a rocket ship to send them to Mars, and so then Courage is left as an orphan, and it's so sad. And watching that show as a little kid, that I was so sad for many days. I'm still sad today. I haven't gotten over it. Courage has that saying, the things I do for love. That episode really kind of makes that into a really dark joke, because he just wants to be loved, and that's why he's always protecting Muriel and Eustace, because he just wants to be loved. And what the heck, in a kid's show, what is this, Cartoon Network? There's also this really dark theory about the end of season 1. Eustace and Muriel get turned into puppets, life-size puppets, and the ending, it shows Courage kind of moving the puppets in a way where he's kind of just putting his life back to normal. And the theory is that Courage is using the puppets for the rest of the following episodes until the end of the series to make his life up, like using the puppets, and Eustace and Muriel are actually dead and they're stayed as puppets. That kept me up for a few nights. And finally, my favorite cartoon growing up was the Powerpuff Girls. Holy moly. This show had so many feminist undertones, and that's why I like it today, because I realized it taught me so many things that I didn't even know I was learning, but it actually made an impression on me. It teaches that being girly isn't a bad thing. Girly doesn't mean weak. Girly means girly. You're girly, great. If you're not, great. Pointed out that being feminist doesn't mean that we have to antagonize men. And this is like in a little kid's show again, like they were putting some really deep stuff into this while making it look like it's lighthearted. The main three characters were so great. Okay, you know, even in the intro of the shows, you know, like, you know, Professor Utano like put sugar and spice and everything nice to make the perfect girls. But the thing is, these perfect girls, they aren't all the same. Like, you can be smart and leadership like Blossom. You can be really tough like Buttercup, or you could be just really sweet, and you can be emotional like Bubbles, and it doesn't matter because, you know, you're perfect, and they are all very unique. And these perfect girls, they weren't like the traditional sense of perfect. They fought with each other, and they had their issues, and yet they're still considered perfect little girls. And that just that teaches, you know, younger kids that there really is no way to be an acceptable girl. You be who you are, and nobody can judge you for it. And that's why I love that show. The show just really had great characters, great protagonists, and great antagonists like Mojo Jojo. His backstory is it's depressing. And my favorite villain is probably him. I mean, they had a cross-dressing demon lobster devil thing, and apparently everybody was just really cool with it. I still love cartoons today, obviously, but those will always, always hold a special place in my heart. So, thanks for watching. You're great.